Shri Ram. We welcome you all for this great event. Firstly, thank you for your patience and listening to us all this time. It was wonderful listening to Dr. Hanuman Chaudhary ji. Now I would like to say a few words first about Ms. Monica Reddy and also our organization, Aham Talks. Basically, Srimati Monica Reddy is the chairperson of Aham Talks, and she is pure Deshbhakt and is an ardent Dharma Rakshak. Now, let me tell you about her organization, Aham Talks. Aham Talks is an independent think tank, a social venture conceptualized by its founder, Ms. Monica Reddy, with like-minded intellectuals to host knowledge dissemination talks by subject matter experts, thought leaders and activists on religious, social, economic, political issues facing Bharat, with an aim to disseminate correct, complete and candid narratives on issues of national importance. In this pursuit, Aham Talks has hosted eminent speakers on its platform that have included various people, like Sri Vivek Agnihotri ji for his book launch and talk on urban naxals, Sri Captain Alok Bansal ji for his book launch on Gilgit-Baltistan and its saga of unending human rights violations, Sri Sai Deepak ji, Sri Rangarajan Garu, head priest of Chilkur Balaji temple, and the social activist Srimati Satyavani Garu on Hindu temples versus government control, Srimati Shefali Vaidya on the Goa Inquisition, Sri Manmat Deshpande, author of the book The Gujarat Riots, the true story on the truth behind the Gujarat Riots 2002, and Sri Pushpendra Kulashrestha ji on India, a target of a proxy war, and Colonel R.S.N. Singh on India, a target of proxy war. Sri Sushil Pandit ji on abrogation of Article 370. Honorable Governor of Kerala, His Excellency Arif Mohammed ji. And Aham Talks continued its efforts of knowledge dissemination even though the COVID lockdown by hosting web talks with RVS Maniji on Tablighi Jamaat and its impact on Bharat, Singhe Serinji on Pakistan's illegal occupation of Gilgit-Baltistan, Ravi Ranjan Singh on Halonomics and Jhatka movement, and Omendra Ratnuji on Pakistan's brutal persecution of minority Hindus. And Srimati Asha Devi ji, mother of Nirbhaya, on women's right to life and safety. Advocate Seema Samriddhi Kushwaha, Nirbhaya's lawyer, on judicial outreach on women's safety in India. Chandrachud Ghosh on Gumnami Baba and the truth behind the disappearance of Neta Subhash Chandra Bose ji. These programs have dealt with critical issues and have successfully provided the audience an opportunity to understand the correct narrative on the subjects. Aham Talks is now recognized as a forum for the truth and nothing but the truth, for bringing the public closer to the truth and for being courageous enough to host discussions on topics most would shy away from. Aham Talks team thanks to its speakers and its followers for being a continuous source of inspiration to continue our work in the quest for the truth. Thank you very much. Now I would like to give a small brief introduction about our chief guest.
Who are you?
Yeah, sorry. My name is Pratibha Vaidya and I am a voluntary worker here for Monica ji. I always there to support her, and I also am as she says, she is an ardent Dharmic Rakshak. Same thing, I am also a nationalist and also a Dharmic Rakshak. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our chief guest, Madhukeshwar ji. Madhukeshwar's life work represents a rare combination of academic scholarship. I'm sorry, this keeps jumping, so I'll take some time, okay? Yeah. Research-based social and legal activism, including public interest, litigation, and investigative journalism on issues concerning the most neglected strata of society. She is the founder editor of Manushi, a journal about women and society, and founder president Manushi Sangathan, an organization working for democratic reforms that promote greater social justice. She started her academic career as a lecturer in a Delhi University College. From 1991 to 2016, professor at the Center of Study Developing Societies and director Indic Studies Project. And from 2017 to 2020, Maulana Azad National Professor, Indian Council for Social Science Research. And from 2021 to 23, Senior Fellow at Nehru Memorial Center for Contemporary Research. Thank you very much. Now the session will start. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Hanuman Chaudhary ji for accepting my invitation to bless us with his presence and to felicitate Madhu Kishwar ji. Madhu ji, I must tell you that you are indeed blessed, because I did not actually call Dr. Chaudhary because he was busy with other events through Pragya Bharati. I assumed that he wouldn't have the time. But then he called me yesterday and he said, Madhuji is coming and I follow her ardently and I would like to be there. So I said then that's a blessing for all of us. I said you must also felicitate her, and he so graciously accepted. So thank you, Dr. Chaudhary Garu. It is you are an inspiration for me. That much I can tell you.
I am inspired by you.
Oh. Thank you. You make me feel big, but I know I'm not. I haven't done enough to achieve that. Thank you, Madhuji, for giving Aham Talks your time and for one more opportunity to present to our family of truth seekers in Bhagyanagar the truth and nothing but the truth on the Kathua case. We at Aham Talks strive for our very ferocious pursuit of the truth, and if you notice the kind of talks we host, these are talks where we are actually breaking the barriers and getting to the audience in Hyderabad the truth that probably has evaded us for a very long time, as you can see, as has been the case with the Kathua case. I thank my family. Yes, I consider each one of you in this room as my family. I have my very respectable father, my blood family here, but I think you're all my family too. A family is united by its genetic unison, and we in this room, as patrons of Aham Talks, are united in our unison as truth seekers. I'm indebted to each one of you for the strength and support given to me and to this platform. Thank you for constantly being there with me to push against false propaganda, fraud narratives, and the witch hunt against Hindus. Madhuji, we are truly honored by your presence. I have said it and I can't stop saying it again and again. You are a fighter. You have stood against times. You have stood against governments. You have stood against mafias. You have stood against propaganda. And you haven't let go. It is from women like you, Madhuji, people like me, women like me draw our inspiration. Thank you so much. All Hindus present on this earth, I'm not making an exaggeration by bringing all the Hindus on the earth together on this note, are grateful to you, Madhuji, for washing the ugly mark of being rapists in a Devi Sthan, in the Pavitra Bhumi of Hindustan. If you can go back to the times when the Kathua rape case, supposed rape case happened, we had celebrities, including the likes of Kareena Kapoor and the Sonam Kapoors, who all came out saying that there was a girl who was raped in a Devi Sthan. Okay, and they said they were ashamed to be part of Hindustan. I am ashamed to be associated with the same country where there are such people who are maligning the name of this country, where the basic religious tenet is Yatra Nareshu Pujante Tatra Ramate Devata. In a nation like this, today we have politicians, today we have celebrities who are bent upon maligning the name of Hindus with false propaganda. And today, the day aims to bust this false propaganda on the Kathua case I will not call it the rape case. The Kathua case, where a small girl became the victim of one more agenda, and as Madhuji's book says, she became the victim of the Ghazwa-e-Hind.
और बहुत बड़ी ब्लेसिंग है मेरे लिए हनुमान चौधरी जी आपकी यहाँ प्रेजेंस. I consider myself blessed that you've chosen to be here and you've honored me by your presence. Thank you so very much, and all of you. अभी मुझे याद नहीं कि आप में से कितने लोगों को याद है कथुआ का कुछ. कुछ है. चलिए. और कथुआ जो मैंने अभी तक जहाँ भी लेक्चर्स दिए इस किताब पे या कथुआ केस पे, ये किताब लिखने में मुझे 4 साल लग गए और बहुत ही दुखदाई था मेरे लिए पीरियड. हालांकि फेक नैरेटिव्स लेफ्ट द्वारा चलाए गए. इज इट ओके इफ आई स्पीक इन हिंदी? ओके, एनीबॉडी हु डज नॉट? या ओके. सो इट्स रियली बीन अ पेनफुल बुक टू राइट, स्पेशली सिंस I was barely through with my very serious brain surgery. I had a big tumor which was removed just a little before this Kathua case happened. I was sick to death. And yet, I just could not resist studying this case, investigating it. I'll tell you how it all happened, that I sensed there was mischief. Most of my writings are, in fact, involved in blasting fake narratives unleashed by leftist, feminist, Islamist mafia. And you know, it's not an easy job. And especially before the days of internet and social media, तो बहुत मुश्किल था. You did get isolated, and yet we kept our voice alive. Apart from being an academic, जो मानुषी संस्था मैंने शुरू की and the journal, we made it a point right at the outset, ना सरकार का पैसा लेंगे, ना foreign funding, no corporate funding. It will have to be a reader-supported journal. And that's really what allowed me to keep my voice free from all kinds of strings, because whether it's government or whoever pays you, then demands servility. So if I've survived servility in this land, where it's become fashionable to be a darbari, it's because I said no to all kinds of funding, and it's been a tough journey. But coming back to this Kathua case, before that, I've also brought my book Modi, Muslims and Media, which also blasted the narratives. Yes, the books are there, and I urge you to please read. There aren't many copies, but those of you who want more than what we have here, please pay and we will mail them to you. It is also a book that can be used really as a toolkit for how to blast fake narratives. केस तो छोटा सा है, बता रही हूँ, 640 पन्ने की किताब है, डरिए मत. It's easy to read book. One of the reasons I took 4 years to write this book is that I wanted it to be easy to read even for a BA student who has no knowledge of law. So this is a book that younger people in your family who want to be journalists, who want to be lawyers, is something that they will learn a lot from. Now, I'll start with bare facts of the case. You talked about demographic invasion. And I say it loud and clear that the murder of this girl was part of a well-crafted conspiracy to unleash demographic invasion in Jammu province, especially Kathua district. And I'll explain to you why they chose Kathua in a little while. But taking off from where you left, Hanumanji, Jammu has 8... Yes, I'll be careful. Jammu, I'm sure most of you would know, has 8 districts. Kashmir is already Hindu vihin. We were told सैनिक कॉलोनी बनेगी, पंडित घर जाएंगे, एक भी नहीं गया, बल्कि जो थोड़े 1500-2000 थे उनको भी टारगेटेड किलिंग से भेजा जा रहा है. Now of all the 8 districts of Jammu province, this used to be Hindu majority even when Kashmir had become Muslim majority. Today 5 out of the 8 districts of Jammu province are already Muslim majority, including Rajouri, Poonch, Doda, Kishtwar, and Ramban. Ramban bhi, it's like Ayodhya becoming Muslim majority. Huh? Only 3 are still Hindu majority, namely Kathua, Samba, and Udhampur. Now this Kathua district is also neighboring Pakistan border, and I'll explain its geopolitical significance in a little while. First, the bare facts of the case. On January 10, 2018, this girl, they say, 8-year-old girl, they said, just vanished from Kathua district near Rasana village. Her Bakarwal family, Bakarwals are Muslim bhed palne wale. What do you call them? Sheep breeders और horse breeders. ये दोनों काम इसके परिवार करता है, horse and sheep breeding. और इस family की ये लड़की, the Rasana village itself is a tiny hamlet. In 2018, it had only 15 to 16 families living there, tiny, surrounded by forest. And this family, Bakarwal family, used to live on the outskirts, about 5 minutes walk from Rasana village. She's supposed to have just vanished on January 10. And then we were told that on January 17, her dead body was found right in the backyard of Rasana hamlet, बिल्कुल उनके घरों के बिल्कुल पीछे. और फिर एकदम उसके जिस दिन डेड बॉडी मिलती है, global hysterical campaign was unleashed that Hindus had murdered her. Or January 18 ko, which is one day after the dead body was found. Now there is no doubt that the girl was tortured to death. But let me say it right at the outset. The 8 Hindus who were implicated actually didn't even know she existed. उसका मर्डर करना तो दूर की बात, उनको पता भी नहीं था ऐसी कोई लड़की है भी, कभी उन्होंने देखा भी नहीं था. और अगर मर्डर किया है तो मैं खुले से ऐलान करके कहती आई हूं कि ये महबूबा मुफ्ती की सुपरविजन में उसी की फैमिली ने मरवाया इस लड़की को और हिंदुओं के मत्थे मर दिया गया. अभी आप देख रहे हैं मुख्तार अंसारी के फ्यूनरल पे कितने 30,000 कह रहे हैं, 30 थे, 50,000 थे. ये अपने क्रिमिनल्स, इतना हीनियस क्राइम्स करने वालों को भी नहीं अकेला छोड़ते, उसको भी हीरो वेलकम देते हैं, उसको भी मार्टर बना के उसको पेश कर रहे हैं दुनिया भर में. और हम अपने इनोसेंस को भी भूल के बैठे हैं. हमें याद भी नहीं है कि क्या हुआ, उन लोगों का क्या हुआ जिन पे ये केस चला. और इस लड़की की डेड बॉडी का इस्तेमाल करके महबूबा मुफ्ती सरकार ने, जो उस वक्त बीजेपी के साथ कोalition गवर्नमेंट में थी, they unleashed such a nasty narrative against India in general that Hindus in particular and India in general. Now, this is the location of Kathua village. ये बॉर्डर से, ये जो कथुआ डिस्ट्रिक्ट है पाकिस्तान के बॉर्डर से है. और जम्मू में अगर आप देखेंगे तो बड़े बड़े बरसाती नाले हैं और वो बरसाती नाले they move into Pakistan. So by the side of a village you might have a tiny barsati nala, not too big, but by the time they reach the border, it's a vast river bed which fills up very heavily during monsoon months, and otherwise it's very lean. Now a lot of cross-border terrorism comes to us through these barsati nalas. They sneak in, and Jammu has become a very favorite entry point especially Katwa, etc. And you would know, for example, Samba district may there have been around army bases, air force bases, there have been numerous attacks, terror attacks, because army bases and air force bases have been surrounded by Bangladeshis, Rohingyas, illegal bastis have been created, and they've not been removed despite the army saying, please remove them. They are creating security risk for us. There have been so many terror attacks, but nobody has dared move even one Bangladeshi or Rohingya out of them. Now, this Rasana village, as you can see from this aerial map, surrounded by village, it's a tiny strip of a hamlet. All around there is forest, and it's about a kilometer away from the National Highway 44 that goes all the way to the border, Kashmir border with Pakistan. Now, all the dwellings are in a row next to each other. So houses are not dispersed. They share boundary walls with each other. And why did they choose Rasana? The main reason for choosing Rasana village is that when these terrorists, arms smugglers, drug smugglers come from the border, sneak in, if they can find villages like this which are surrounded by forest and are connected to those nalas, तो नाले से चल के यहाँ जैसे मान लीजिए इसके रसाना के पास भी वो बरसाती नाला है जो बॉर्डर से कनेक्ट होता है, तो वहाँ आके इनको सेफ हेवन मिल जाता है. And if they could have gotten all the 16 families, they wanted basically the 16 families removed from there so that they would have this village safety. And the interesting part is, behind Rasana village, this big forest takes you all the way to Kashmir without you having to go to the main road. So terrorists then can escape police pickets, security pickets, if they have access to a village like Rasana, if it became their hotbed or a safe haven for them, which is the reason they chose. And another reason they chose this village is because Sanji Ram, who used to be a Patwari, he retired as a Patwari, not landwala but irrigation department, very upright, honest man, very dharmic Hindu. He used to try and convince fellow Dogras not to sell their lands to Muslims. He would say, ये मातृभूमि है हमारी और माँ को बेचते नहीं हैं. So he used to try and influence fellow Hindus not to sell their lands because the demographic invasion was fast pursuing here. So this is mainly the crime he was committing to warn his community. Now, how did I get suspicious? I had no connection with Rasana. I'd never heard of Rasana village. I'd never been to Katwa. Though my Nana was a state subject and he had studied in Jammu, Prince of Wales College, but I had no connection to this region. The reason I got suspicious that this is a fake narrative, when they started blaming Hindus for having murdered the girl in a temple, in a Devi Sthan. Number one, all the Hindu majority regions of Jammu have almost zero crime rate. Hindu villages में कोई crime नहीं होता और लड़की को abduct करके rape करना is beyond the wildest imaginations of Hindus, especially since ये देवी उपासक हैं, वैष्णो देवी मंदिर है और बहुत seriously लेते हैं देवी उपासना को, तो कंजक पूजना, तो there is no question. Also, it's a crime-free region. So why would they pick up this girl and commit this, ISIS style heinous crime? So I got suspicious because as per law, Indian Penal Code के section 228A के अनुसार, you're not allowed to name a rape victim, especially if she is a girl, child. Her face cannot be shown, her family cannot be identified, and if you do that, the punishment for it is 2 years jail plus fine. And yet I found that so many leading journalists models, film stars, academics, everybody was naming her and putting her picture. The same one photo. And I have solved the mystery of also that one face that they kept on posting, that innocent girl. So I have, as you can see, named the girl as Gazwa victim, or not named her in my book, because though her now name is very famous, I still chose not to name her. So I said, ऐसे हो रहा है कि हजारों लोग इसका नाम लेके बात कर रहे हैं, इसकी फोटो भी लगा रहे हैं. Not only that, on April 22 to 2023, I did a Google search. You know how many entries under her name I got? Her name Asifa Banu. 4 crore 35 lakh just in English. Hindi mein alag, Marathi mein alag, French, German, every language of the world she became famous. Her face became world famous. So how could it happen that on this large scale, this Justice for Asifa campaign got away by widely naming and displaying the photograph of the victim girl, even on big posters, on big hoardings? How is it happening? So obviously there was some dirt behind it. That's really what instigated me, that's what propelled me to investigate this case. And what is interesting is that on April 10, 2018, the charge sheet is filed. जनवरी में उसका मर्डर होता है, अप्रैल में चार्ज शीट होती है, और जैसे ही चार्ज शीट आती है तो there is a real blast. There is such a vicious vitriolic campaign globally. अभी फ्रांस में, जर्मनी में, नॉर्वे में, किसी को क्या लेना जम्मू की एक लड़की, एक गांव की लड़की के साथ? I mean, how come she became so globally famous? That means that there was a global mafia behind this whole campaign. And then I started tracking. It all started, the naming starts with Mehbooba Mufti herself. As Chief Minister of a state, she can't say she didn't know the law. She should have been in jail. She started naming. After that, Greater Kashmir, which is a Pakistan-sponsored paper, they named her. Humanity Lost and Found. And you have to understand that Islamists, the most brutal among them, have actually mastered the vocabulary of human rights, democratic rights. मारते भी हैं, पीटते भी हैं, गला रेतते भी हैं, और human rights उनके violate होते हैं. This genius Hindus have failed to understand and counter. And I think it's important that we start unraveling their mischief. And even when it is, we don't care enough to say they should be punished for lie of this order. ये आपने भी mention किया था. I am ashamed. I am Hindustan. Girl murdered in, raped and murdered in Devistan. Now, all these starlets or glamour dolls sitting in Bombay or Delhi or Bangalore, what connection did they have? All these placards they carried have the same identical handwriting. They have the same wording. So obviously, that means somebody was paying them. They won't do it. Even for one tweet, Bollywood stars and celebrities charge lakhs of rupees. So having that photo and that placard means somebody was distributing lakhs of rupees to each one of these glamour dolls and saying, stand with this, don't have to utter a word. And they all did it. You can see, you have all kinds of celebrities, not only, but even Javed Akhtar, matlab script writers, all of them went ballistic. And in my book, there are 3 parts to it. First tells you the main story, the charge sheet. How stupid, bizarre, idiotic is the charge sheet. Usko main detail mein kiya hai, ek pura section. Second is, who all created this echo chamber? किन्होंने इसको ग्लोबल कॉज सेलेब्र बनाया? वो सारा इनके हर एक के हंट आउट किए सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म से, their tweets, their videos, so you get a whole lot of literature. These were the key megaphones of Mufti Barkhadat, Nidhi Razdan, Rajdeep Sardesai, Sagrika Ghosh, Rahul Pandita, Kashmiri Pandit, Sameer Yasir, and even Aarti Tikku. And Aarti did not identify her by name, but she went ballistic, wanting action against Hindus who had raped and murdered. The most active, expectedly, was Barkhadat. I have published several of her tweets day by day. In one day, furiously, 8-10 बार उसी बात पे, जैसे दिल फटा जा रहा है, इनको नींद ही नहीं जैसे आ रही इस लड़की की वजह से। उसके बाद मैंने इनके सब निधि राजदान के ट्वीट्स कितने विशेष हैं, क्या क्या डीमोनाइजेशन किया इन्होंने हिंदू समाज का, राहुल पंडिता का भी मैंने बताया, फिर राजदीप सरदेसाई और सागरिका घोष, BBC also. Now in England, BBC wouldn't dare do that, but they did it. Their report coming from London, though written by a Kashmiri Muslim, names the girl and even gives a photograph. Then it had to be a part of a conspiracy. Washington Post, New York Times, Wikipedia also, still date, this is the 5th year now, even Wikipedia has an entry with the full identity. No other rape victim, even Nirbhaya, you have brought her mother here. आज तक किसी को निर्भया का असली नाम नहीं पता, किसी को उसकी फोटो नहीं दिखी. It was also a big, it became a big movement for new rape law, but it was actually also, by the way, prompted by the missionary mafia. We shouldn't have taken it that seriously. I cried and screamed even at that time, please don't accept the amendments to the rape law using this. They use such cases to bring laws that are meant to tear asunder Hindu society. But someday we will talk about that story. Now, Delhi High Court did on April 13 say fine will be imposed on these mainstream media houses. 10-10 lakh का 5 media houses पे fine किया, but everybody continued merrily. None of the journalists were sent to jail for naming. Not one person was punished. Then Supreme Court wakes up in December 2018 and says you can't name, especially if it's a girl. Matlab, they are giving orders, but they're not taking action against anyone. So which means even Supreme Court became complicit in shielding these wrongdoers. Now I asked myself, why is it that these people are so bothered about this girl from Kathua? Delhi में Child Rights Commission, Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights के figures बताते हैं, हर साल 6000 बच्चे गायब होते हैं, उनमें अधिकतर लड़कियां होती हैं. I've never seen Barkhadat, Nidhi Razdan or Aarti Tikku worry about any child that has vanished from Delhi. So how is it that they got so crazy with concern for this girl from Kathua, which is 530 kilometers from Delhi? None of them ever visited either before or after. The moment I got interested in exposing or investigating, the first thing I did not start by writing a report. I went to Jammu, then I went to Kathua, then I spent time in Rasana, and I interviewed dozens and dozens of people over several visits, trying to understand, talked to lawyers, studied the documents. None of these people, यहाँ तो और भी छोड़ो, जाना तो दूर है, दिल्ली में बैठ के कैंपेन चला रहे हैं. None of them even read the charge sheet. None of them even read the post-mortem report, because the post-mortem report also does not support charges of rape. So I knew that there was mischief, and I know the likes of Barkhadat, they've been friends, पुराने दोस्त रहे हैं, तो मुझे पता है ये कितने धूर्त लोग हैं, दुष्ट आत्मा हैं, तो ये मुझे मालूम था कि गड़बड़ हो रहा है. So first thing that strengthened my hunch was the charge sheet. अब चार्ज शीट में भी कहानी ये है, जनवरी 17 को लड़की की डेड बॉडी मिलती है, जनवरी 18 को अगले दिन they arrest a nephew, a teenage nephew of Sanji Ram, who was the Patwari, just retired Patwari. And then they take him into custody, they torture him, and they say, we have cracked the case. He has admitted that he abducted the girl and he raped her and then he killed her. And so the case is solved. That's what they claimed. But actually, the arrest of that teenager was actually a hoax. It was meant to, they had no evidence against anyone. अभी एविडेंस आपके पास नहीं है तो क्या किया इन्होंने? एक मासूम से बुद्धू से टीनेजर को पकड़ा, उसको टॉर्चर किया, उसको पुलिस कस्टडी में टॉर्चर करके ये कहा कि इसने कन्फेस किया है बाद में, पहले कहा कि मैंने किया, देन लेटर ही सेड नो नो, माय अंकल सांजी राम, माय मामा सांजी राम is the one who instigated us all, and he involved 7 other people, meaning 8 of us were responsible for abducting, gang raping and killing the girl. So actually, as per law, any confession under police custody is not admissible evidence. एविडेंस इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते उसको कोर्ट में, सबको पता है पुलिस टॉर्चर करके कुछ भी उगलवा लेती है, और यही हुआ। फिर भी इस केस में कोई एविडेंस, सपोर्ट में तो छोड़ो, हर एविडेंस इसके खिलाफ में जा रहा है जो पुलिस ने नैरेटिव चलाया। फिर भी इन्होंने उस एविडेंस के आधार पे 8 लोगों को गिल्टी किया, एक्यूज किया, देन दे ट्राइड अ फार्सिकल ट्रायल and even punished them. Right now they are still in jail. Now listen to the story. The charge sheet 15-16 page की charge sheet है, 5,400 word long. The first narrative that the police, first 3 pages of the charge sheet, you know what it says? This Bakarwal girl came to our village. She was shouting, किसी ने मेरे घोड़े देखे, मेरे घोड़े देखे। तो ये लड़का शुभम जिसका नाम है, उसने कहा हाँ हाँ मैं तुम्हें मदद करता हूँ। He comes down, he was sitting on his uncle's roof. He came down and then he took the girl to look for her horses, वो horse grazing के लिए। अब कहते हैं 8 साल की लड़की horse grazing के लिए जा रही है। As per my investigation वो कम से कम 12 साल की लड़की थी, और ये उसकी उम्र से लेके सब कुछ झूठ है, मतलब कोई चीज उस लड़की के बारे में भी सच नहीं बताई। खैर, अब वो आता है, उसको लेके जाता है और कहाँ उसको बंद करके रखता है। They don't find the horses because वो कहानी झूठी थी। तो brings her to the village, his own village. ये cow shed है। You see this village lane? All houses are next to each other and it's a poor village. Most of the 15-16 families are labor class. कोई ऑटो चलाता है, कोई बॉम्बे में मिल डॉग वर्कर है, कोई फैक्ट्री वर्कर है, कोई शॉप असिस्टेंट है, दे आर वर्किंग क्लास। एक आध सांजी राम के तरह who had a decent job, but you know, a Patwari is not a very high powered person, especially if he is an honest one. Look at this poor village. So this on the right hand side is the cow shed, and here you see the door of the cow shed. Now they say that when they didn't find the horses, he said, "Chalo, come to my village." So she quietly follows him to the village. Village में आके he locks her up in this shed. It's a broken down door, and he ties her hands and feet with her own salwar ka nada, and he stuffs a little handkerchief and she lies down quietly. She doesn't try to run away. Her own house is no more than 7-10 minutes walk from this village. So how is it that this girl doesn't protest, doesn't cry, doesn't scream? She says, okay, bandna hai, band ke rakh jao. And this is January ka mahina. It's very cold in Jammu in early January, but she lay down for days on end, and he did not even bother to lock the door in any case. And this is the cow shed where his own family and others tie their cattle, सुबह शाम दूध निकालते हैं, चारा देने आते हैं। किसी ने लड़की को नहीं देखा, लड़की ने उठने की कोशिश नहीं की। पर कहानी यहाँ नहीं खत्म होती। फिर उसके बाद इस काऊ शेड में शाम को वो अपने घर से खाना चोरी करके इसको खाना खिलाने लाता है, खाना बड़े प्यार से खिलाता है। फिर उसको घुमाने ले जाता है, मिल्की वे चॉकलेट खिलाता है, वो भी लिखा है चार्जशीट में। फिर घुमाने ले जाता है ताकि पॉटी कर ले। फिर पॉटी करने के बाद हैंड पंप पे लाके उसकी पॉटी साफ भी करता है, मतलब उसकी बॉटम साफ भी करता। आई मीन this is like a teenage romance or a gone, or would you think that a person who abducts a girl for raping and murdering would be behaving like this? So he does that. He washes her private parts every night. He does that. He brings khana, but he doesn't bring any blanket or anything, and she's wearing very light clothes. She wasn't covered. Anybody would die of pneumonia if they were locked up in this kind of situation in January. But 6 days he keeps her. There is no mention of sexual assault for 6 days. On the 7th day, he says, I'm going to now drop you back to your house. So she quietly comes up. Now, when he brings khana for her, takes her for potty, she still doesn't try to run away. She doesn't cry for help. Now, आप मान सकते हैं कहानी? पर ये लिखते हैं, ऐसी कहानियां लिखते हैं हमारी पुलिस, and they get away with it. और हमारे किसी जर्नलिस्ट ने इसका मतलब चार्जशीट नहीं पढ़ी। उसके बाद on the way to her house, he says, I want to rape you. That is when she says, I will tell to my uncle, or I will tell to my family. So he gets frightened. So he takes a dupatta, he strangles her, they say, and takes a stone, hits her, a heavy stone, and hits her twice with the head. And then after killing her, he leaves the dead body right behind his own house. Literally 2 minutes walk from his own house. Now, doesn't make sense, right? But that's the police for us. And actually, more than Pakistan trained terrorists, it's our police which is a bigger threat for us, and it's our own politicians who are a bigger threat for us. Now, Mehbooba Mufti also, that's very interesting. When the girl's body is found, first special investigative team is appointed. Then she changes it twice because obviously she couldn't get maybe very obedient officers in the first round. Within 4 days, she disbands the first SIT. The second SIT, illegally, SIT, Special Investigative Team, कायदे से जम्मू की होनी चाहिए as per police rules and protocols. ये कश्मीर से लाती है ऑफिसर्स ताकि अपनी जय हजूरी करवा सके. But more importantly, the SIT was in this case headed by Sub-Inspector Irfan Wani. Now, who is this Irfan Wani? Irfan Wani had spent years in jail on the charge of murdering a Hindu boy named Rishi Kumar of Doda district in the year 2007. हुआ क्या था, उसको फेक चार्जेस पे ही इज अ पैथोलॉजिकल हिंदू हेटर. तो इस लड़के को टॉर्चर करके पुलिस कस्टडी में इसने फालतू में मर्डर किया. जब उस लड़के के ऋषि कुमार के पेरेंट्स प्रोटेस्ट करने आए तो इसने क्या किया, ऋषि कुमार की बहन को थाने में रख लिया जबरन. 1 हफ्ते तक रोज उसको कई बार रेप करता रहा. ये हाल इसने किया और इस पे केस चला, बहुत शोर मचा होगा. He was suspended. He was then in jail for several years. He was on psychiatric treatment. But Mehbooba Mufti got him acquitted on May 11, 2017. And then she appoints him to this SIT. A man who is known psychiatric patient, is murderous, उसको इस केस का इंचार्ज बनाती है. Or reinstate, have you ever heard of a jailed officer being reinstated and then put in charge of the most high profile case? But that's Mehbooba Mufti for us. और फिर जब ये SIT बनती है तो 8 जो के accused हैं, they include Hindu officers who were part of the first SIT which lasted only 2 days or so. यानी वो SIT को इन्वेस्टिगेट शुरू भी नहीं की थी, इट वॉज डिसबैंडेड. So they had no time to cook up any facts or whatever. And yet they said they had cooperated in the murder. There was, in the first SIT, one Muslim officer also. He was not implicated. All other Hindus were implicated. So you also have 4 police guys, including special police officers, who are accused as co-conspirators. उनमें most important is दीपक खजूरिया. आपको सांजी राम का मैंने बताया कि वो हिंदुओं को कहता था जमीनें मत बेचो. दीपक खजूरिया का क्या अपराध था? As special police officer, he took the job of cracking down of beef and cow smugglers to Kashmir. Seriously, जम्मू से होकर ही ये वहां की हिंदुओं की गाय चुराते हैं और या काट के या ऐसे ही ले जाते हैं. He used to be vigilant about it. He used to track them, and so he had become an eyesore. उसका भी example बनाना था that if you mess up with Muslims, we will teach you a lesson. That was the main thing, and he was also made a not only co-conspirator, rapist and killer also. और second SIT ने, अब इनके पास evidence कुछ नहीं है, not even evidence that they ever saw the girl, leave alone met. Yet, what did Mehbooba do? She was also the Home Minister. She unleashed such a reign of terror. Anand Fanan में hundreds of young Hindu boys were arrested from Kathua district. They claimed 232, but the numbers were actually much higher. In record, they showed 232. So, which means they claimed there were 232 witnesses to the murder of this girl who nobody even knew. And then finally in court, they produced 114 witnesses. The purpose for arresting all these people was, not A, they had no evidence. They had to have false witnesses. But not many were willing to give false testimony. So they kept dropping, and only a few were finally produced. 2-3 हैं जो हिंदुओं ने गलत testimony दी. But the reign of terror, if you have nighttime raids, you arrest young people. So as a result, in Kathua district, people abandoned their villages, including Rasana village, and they took shelter on the national highway. अब इनको टॉर्चर करके कहा 8 लोगों के खिलाफ हमारे पास एविडेंस है. एंड द सेकंड चार्जशीट, यू नो द फर्स्ट चार्जशीट में कि वो लड़का ले गया, काउशेड में रखा, 6 दिन उसको चॉकलेट खिलाया, उसकी पोटी धोई. Then second charge sheet is even more absurd, even more farcical, based only on confession. Here, the revised charge sheet says that there were 8 people, not 1. So from 1 to 8, and based only on the confession under torture, police torture. These are the 8 people: Sanji Ram, Deepak Khajuria, Surinder Kumar, Vishal Jangotra, son of Sanji Ram, Deepak Khajuria, special police officer, Surinder Kumar, also of police ka hi hai, Parvesh Kumar, another teenager who had no clue about the case, Anand Datta, another police officer, Tilak Raj, head constable or whatever, and Shubham Sangra was the nephew who was the first one to be arrested. Now, isme version 2 is even more absurd. Same story, start is कि लड़की आई, मेरे घोड़े नहीं हैं, किसी ने देखे हैं, ये लड़का नीचे आता है. This time Shubham is not alone. What he does is he calls. The allegation is that he calls another person called Parvesh और उसको कहता है हम दोनों इसको ढूंढते हैं. The two were not even on talking terms. The fact is the two had no connection with each other, but they just roped one more person for terror. और टेरर जब ऐसे करते हैं कि आप आनंद फानन में सैकड़ों लोगों को अरेस्ट कर रहे हैं, किसको फॉल्स विटनेस बना रहे हैं, तो लोग गांव छोड़ के निकलने लगे. और फेक नैरेटिव क्या था कि इस लड़की को मारा इसलिए है क्योंकि सांजी राम मुसलमान बकरवालों को भगाना चाहता था. He wanted Muslims to leave Kathua district, so that's why they spread. The fact is it's Hindus who had to leave. Anyway, so Shubham and Parvesh, they go around with the girl, they can't find. Now this time instead of taking to the cow shed, you want to I'll just take 2 minutes and end at a particular point with the fake ye jo charge, second charge sheet. Then you can have a break. Now, what are they saying? That ये दोनों घूमे, फिर उन्होंने they decided to rape her. When they tried to rape her, these two boys, they pinned her down. तो वो चिल्लाई, उसने भागने की कोशिश की, and because it was premeditated, तो उसके मुंह में दो मनार एक टबाको बेस्ड बड़ी फाउल स्मेलिंग होती है, इतनी मोटी गोली, आप इतनी सी खाओ तो उल्टी आ जाए. It's used for laxative and such like things. Opium based होती है. They fed her 2-3 manars and she fell in unconscious. कोई चीज बताओ जो instant unconscious किसी को कर दे. Anyway, so they raped her while she was unconscious. Then they brought her to the temple and they carried the unconscious girl to the Devasthan, dumped her there and locked the shrine. Just 2 minutes. This is what this shrine looks like. Just one room. This shrine is shared by 3 villages. तीनों गरीब हैं गांव. Simple सा, फर्श भी कच्चा, मतलब बहुत ही घटिया सीमेंट का. They are that poor that they can't even have tiles, leave alone marble. And you can see it's open from all sides. ये है उनके कुल देवता बाबा कालीवीर, who's very sacred, more sacred than many of the national deities, you know, as you know, village deities and kul devtas. यहाँ पे कहते हैं उसको रखा और यहाँ पे उसके साथ क्या क्या किया उसकी कहानी फिर after you've had. Now it will run fast because I've given you the basic fabric of the thing, so I'll be able to run fast. I hope you're not bored. So आंखें खत्म करते हैं, चाय पीते हैं.